a target using a computer to attack other computers. For example, hacking, virus, worm attacks, DOS attack, etc. Another one is the computer as a weapon, using a computer to commit real-world crimes like cyber terrorism, IPR violation. IPR means intellectual property rights. We will discuss one by one in detail. Credit card frauds, EFT frauds, and pornography, etc. will come under the cyber crimes. Data protection and the privacy laws. These laws aim to achieve a fair balance between the privacy rights of the individual and the interests of data controllers such as banks, hospitals, email service providers, etc. These laws seek to address the challenges to privacy caused by collecting, storing, and transmitting data using new technologies. Cyber laws, simply we put a cyber crime is an unlawful act or acts wherein the computer is either a tool or a target or both of such unlawful activity or activities. Dear students, if you have here, we need to know about the intellectual property also. Copyright Act we have in our in the specialization subject media laws and ethics. There is especially about we will discuss Copyright Act and the intellectual property rights. All this. Here, just we are focusing based on our digital media, information and communication technologies aspect only. Intellectual property is referred to creation of the human mind. Example, a story, a song, a painting, a design, etc. The facets of intellectual property that relate to cyberspace. The cyberspace are covered by cyber law. These include copyright law in relation to computer software, computer source code, websites, cell phone contents, etc. Here another important point is a trademark. Trademark law with relation to domain names, meta tags, mirroring, framing, linking, etc. Cyber law or internet law is the law governing by cyberspace, and the term cyberspace, it includes computers, networks, software, data storage, and data storage devices like hard disk, pen drives, USB disk, etc. And the internet, websites, smartphones, cell phones, ATM machines, all this comes under the cyber law. Okay, next we need to know about some cyber crimes. Already we have discussed about the cyber crimes. There is two types of cyber crimes. One is related to the computer as a target, another one is the computer as a weapon. So one by one we will discuss here. First one is hacking. Hacking refers to acts that are committed to breaking into computer systems without the permission of the rightful owner or the person in charge of a computer or computer network. We know generally in many movies there is the word we hear, this word hacking. ethical hacking, the word we generally listen in many cinemas. At times, hackers also take control of a website posted on the web server and smear it with obnoxious materials, etc. This act is called web hijacking in general. A good example of a hacking program is the Trojan horse or Trojan. These are the hacking means these are the devils. Like in a general words, we will call it as a devils. It is a destructive program that looks like a helpful application, but in really they are destructive. One of the most uh, types of Trojan horse is the program that claims to rid your computer of viruses, but instead it introduces viruses onto your computer. Next one is virus and worm attack. A computer virus attaches itself to a programs or a file, enabling it to spread from one computer to another, leaving infections as it travels. A worm, generally we know worm is similar to a virus by design, and it is considered to be a subclass of a virus. Virus and worm attack, both are virus and subvirus, nothing. So generally we listen each computer they install, means computer programmers, computer hardware network engineers, they install antivirus software in the every computer. So that is protects the viruses, protects from the viruses. Here, worms spread from computer to computer, but unlike a virus, it has the capability to travel without any human action. A worm takes advantage of file or information transport features on your system, which is what allows it to travel unaided. Why these we are learning? Because in today's journalism practice, everyone is using computers. Means every journalist is using computers. In every media house, without computers, it will be not run. So that is why here we need to know some technical aspects, some technical words, how to overcome all these issues. So this is just as a basic knowledge we need to know. Next one is here in the hacking and viruses, we need to know about the denial of service attacks. It is a mischievous activity where a computer is flooded with more requests than it can handle. This causes the computers to crash, thereby denying the users or access of the service to authorized users. And there is a more related to the hacking and viruses like IPR violations. IPR violations means intellectual property violation that takes place where the computer software is pirated, or when copyrights associated with the source code are violated, trademark or patent rights infringements are also part of IPR violations. Another one is cyber squatting. Cyber squatting is the act of registering a popular internet address, usually a company name, with the intent of selling it to its rightful owner. Every organization wants to have its own website. Some of the organizations like the TCS are very famous and a criminal-minded person, and companies register a number of a URL that have a resemblance to the brand name or the brand mark of these companies, and then they try to sell them for a FT sum. It is just like a house system, house types in layouts being squatted or encroached upon by unauthorized person. See, sometimes we see, for example, a website, ICICI Bank, for example, but there is a small one letter which is the website and the title, everything is looks like the as is, but there is a small letter change. In place of ICICI Bank, BANK, they use N, in place of N, they use U. In general, we could not find it, the word, we think that that is the ICICI Bank website only. This is happens, this is, we call it as a cyber squatting. In cyber laws, another important point is defamation. This is a general in media ethics. We must be aware about the defamation. In the semester 6, we have one course book. It is focusing on cyber laws and ethics. Coming to the defamation. Defamation is the communication of a false statement that harms the reputation of an individual, business, product, group, government, religion, or nation. Most jurisdictions allow legal action to deter various kinds of defamation and retaliate against groundless criticism. We'll discuss in detail about this one. See, under the Indian legal system, defamation is a tort, and both the civil and the criminal liabilities can be incurred by the individual indulging in defamatory statements. Cyber defamation takes place when a defamatory statement is made using a computer via the internet. This can happen when a website is used to post defamatory statements, or when a defamatory email is sent to a group of individuals, information posted to bulletin boards, or in discussion groups, that is intended to vilify somebody, can also be considered as an act of defamation. Cyber defamation is also called as a cyber smearing, the professional word, cyber smearing. Okay, next, coming to discuss about the cyber laws in India. The primary source of the cyber law in India is the Information Technology Act. In the year 2000, the act is into force on October 17th, 2000. The information technology, there is a time to time, there is many amendments. The recent amendments means a latest one, Information Technology Amendments Act 2008, and another one is Information Technology Amendment Act in 2021 also is there. In the syllabus where this textbook we have prepared in the year 2019 and 20, so that is why we have not included the Information Technology Amendments Acts of 2021. Okay, anyway, we as a journalism students, we must be aware about the day-to-day developments which are happening in the media and other related to the media and the press. The Indian Penal Code, as amended by the IT Act, penalizes several cyber crimes. These include forgery of electronic record, cyber frauds, destroying electronic evidence, etc. Digital evidence is to be collected and proven in court as per the provisions of Indian Evidence Act. This is also amended by the IT Act. In case of a bank records, the previous of the Bankers Bank Evidence Act, as mentioned by the IT Act, are not relevant or relevant. Investigation and adjudication of cyber crimes is done in accordance with the provisions of Code of Criminal Procedures and the IT Act. Yeah, dear students, if you have any doubts, you may raise your hand, ask me. Otherwise, you can type your query or any doubt in the chat box. I will read it and come back with you with the clarifications. Another important point is in this unit, that is domains and subdomains. We need to know about this because every day our day-to-day life, we must know. We are reading the URLs. Means, for example, ICICI.com. What is .com? For example, our Ambedkar Open University, drau.ac.in. What is .ac.in? And some business organizations, crick.biz. Some NGO organizations like the end with .org. What is this all? So here we need to know that is a domain. Here we need to know about the domains and subdomains. Domain is the distinguished part of an abstract or a physical space where something exists, is performed, or is valid. For example, we may talk about the domain of internet, domain of activity. Here, direct domains, in a short form, we call it a GPLDS. You must be all familiar with the most popular domain extensions on the web. Here is some examples. We have .com, .net, .org, .biz, .ac.in, .edu, etc. .com means a commerce, means that is a business related, commerce related website. .net means that is a network related website. .org means maybe that is a government organization or private organization, otherwise there's some NGO organization, whatever it is. That is a .org. .biz means business. So that is which means biz means business related website. And .edu also we regularly see in very many websites. What is .edu? That is educational related website. And our university, .ac.in. .ac means academic, DRAOU academic related website. This is. Here we need to know .in, what is .in, what is .us. For example, each country has its own domain name. For example, United States of America, whose domain is .us. And for India, our domain is .in. For Bangladesh, the domain name is .bd. For Pakistan, .pk. Even small islands, also there is own their domains. So every country has its own domain with the two letters. .us, .in, .niu is one small island, but that is also as one code, .nu. This is clear to you, I think so. If you have any doubts, you may ask again. Otherwise, we'll go to next unit. Dear students, today is the last class in this season. If you have any doubts, you may ask me. These classes are mainly focus of the interaction sessions. So that is why we call it as a counseling classes. So I request the students to interact with me and ask me if you have any doubts. I will get back to you with the clarifications. If you have no doubts, I will go with the next unit, that is next unit is unit number 7, multimedia. In this unit, we will discuss about what is multimedia, tools of multimedia, how the multimedia is using in the entertainment, education, production, and how to write for multimedia content. What is included in the multimedia, that is integrating text, graphics, audio, video, images, and video formats. And what is the impact of new media and on traditional media. Okay, one by one we will discuss in detail. First one is multimedia. Multimedia means more than one medium. Very simple definition we know. For example, print media. In which kind of medium? That is a print medium. Only we are reading the text and seeing the images. Whereas radio is audio medium. We can only listen it. We could not read it. We could not see it. Coming to the television. Television is audio and visual medium. We can see it, we can listen it at a time, but we could not read it. If any letters scrolling on the monitor, that is different. But as a physical form means we read, how we read a newspaper, like we could not read the text which is broadcasting in the television. But there is a title, CC titles will come, that is a different one. However, today it refers to a computer-based technology which uses diverse media sources like a combination of text, audio, images. In the images, there is again two-dimensional images, three-dimensional images. Let us discuss. And video and also graphics to create a meaningful and interactive content. That is, we call a multimedia content. The term multimedia was coined by singer and artist Bob Goldstein to promote July 1966 opening of his life works at Low Orison. That is a show at Southampton, Long Island. However, Ted Nelson is regarded as the key person associated with the development of multimedia with the launch of hypertext, a mechanism which links one text to multiple texts. He started a project known as XANADU, where he experimented with the hypertext system. no one event or a single person can be attributed the credit of inventing the multimedia. A series of experiments, a series of global developments from the launch of microprocessors, the development of the World Wide Web by Tim Lee, the launch of Apple computers, software called the HyperCard, the approval of the MPEG-1 as the internal standard for video, and JPEG as the international standard for image compression, the birth of the Java language in 1995, and the launch of XML subsequently all contributed in developing multimedia as we see it today. So this is not a single person, but earlier there is a 2-3 multimedia coined by Bob Goldstein. But later there is a number of developments. All these included what we are seeing today. Let us discuss about what is multimedia. Multimedia refers to a combination of digital media working in tandem to produce meaningful content or information, and such information can be represented, stored, transmitted, and processed digitally. Right? A multimedia application is an application which uses a collection of multiple media sources. Example, text, graphics, images, sound, audio, animation, graphics, video, and also video, only video with animations, or video with audio and animations, video with animation and images, and also text. All this collection, mixing, we see the multimedia content. As discussed in the introduction of the origin of multimedia, can be discussed with the development of hypertext and hypermedia. Here we need to know about the non-linear arrangement. The non-linear arrangement of the text and information on the World Wide Web is an example of a non-sequential reading and writing. In a web portal, there are hundreds of individual pages which are self-contained units of information, yet they are linked to other pages in a portal and contribute to the whole. A user when clicks any page, he finds information on a particular subject, and for getting more information on a certain aspect, clicks on the hyperlinks, which leads them to the other pages in the portal. The other example of hypermedia application like PowerPoint, Adobe Acrobat, and Adobe Flash. These are some examples. So a multimedia system is characterized by storage, generation, and manipulation, rendition of multimedia information. So all this we call it is hyper multimedia. Hyper means already we know, we have discussed in an earlier session. Hyper means speed. Types of journalism, another important topic to know about this in this lesson. Types, it is generally seen that there are two types of multimedia. They are linear and non-linear. In the linear category, the content progresses without any navigation control for the viewer, such as a cinema presentation. Cinema presentation is also audio, visual, and some graphics will come, some VFX, everything is come. That is also multimedia version, but that is a linear, means there is a no navigation control. Another category that is a non-linear multimedia, that is interactive, and its users get an opportunity to control and decide the direction and progression of content. Example, a computer game. There is a computer can play and opposite we can play. So we can control it. Self-paced computer-based training, it is possible with the non-linear multimedia. Non-linear content is also known as hypermedia content. Multimedia presentation can be both live and recorded. A recorded presentation may allow interactivity via a navigation system. A live multimedia presentation may allow interactivity via interaction with presenter or performer. There is a basic characteristics for the multimedia system. We will learn about this. Major characteristics for the multimedia system. Multimedia systems must be computer controlled. Multimedia system are integrated. The information they handle must be represented digitally. The interface to the final presentation of media is usually interactive. These are the four major characteristics of multimedia. Now let us discuss about the tools of multimedia. There is a basic tools required for multimedia. They are text-based editing tools, graphical tools, sound editing tools, animation, video editing tools, digital movie editing tools. So we will discuss one by one in a clear. The multimedia presentation can be delivered into two types. The first is it can be viewed live on a stage, projected, transmitted, or played locally with a media player. A broadcast may be a live or recorded multimedia presentation. Digital online multimedia presentation may be downloaded or streamed. The second case is the interactive multimedia games and simulations which may be used in real and virtual environments. Coming to the basic tools for multimedia, text-based editing tools. Okay, what will come under the text-based editing tools? There are usually word processors, MS Word, and Apple iOS, Apple general word processing. Word processors are usually a part of the Office suite. There are powerful applications that include spell checkers, table formatters, and pre-built templates for the commonly used documents. The word processors are used for creating project letters and invoices and storyboards. They allow embedded multimedia elements. The commonly known word processors are MS Word, and this is MS Word is very commonly used in all mobiles and even the computers, laptops, except Apple has its own operating system. Next one is graphical tools. What are the graphical tools used in the multimedia? Generally, already we have discussed the multimedia means text, graphics, images, a combination of text, graphics, images, audio, video, everything. So for graphics, here some tools required to prepare a multimedia content. The graphical tools include painting and drawing tools, 3D modeling tools, image editing tools, the painting and drawing software tools. These are user-friendly applications that enable multimedia designers with some handy tools. Painting and drawing tools generally come with a graphical user interface with pull-down menus for quick sections. All kinds of shapes and designs can be generated using this software. Next, the 3D modeling tools. In traditional computer graphics, there are just two axes, that is x-axis and y-axis. The x-axis is horizontal and the y-axis is vertical. Whereas in 3D, there is an additional axis. Generally, we know it is as z-axis. That is depth of an objective. While in the real world, 3D objects physically exist in 3 dimensions, in the digital world of computer graphics, 3D objects can only be represented mathematically in the form of a 3D model. 3D software enabled with the graphical user interface designs models automatically and are interpreted be visually represented as geometric objects made up of edges and vertex and polygonal faces. All this is possible with the 3D modeling tools. Next one is image editing tools. There is a Adobe Photoshop, one image editing tool. There is a number of image editing tools we have. We are using these tools very regularly to prepare thumbnails or to prepare a design page. Generally, in the newspaper industry, they use Adobe Photoshop for a good quality picture. Now coming to discuss about the editing tools. There are a number of sound editing tools. One can integrate the sound element into a multimedia project by using these specially designed tools. The sound editing software can process and edit sound files saved in the different formats. Using the specially designed software programs like Cool Edit, Sound Edit, MP3 Cutter. All these are some examples for the sound editing tools. Next, we will discuss about the animation video and digital movie tools. So animation tools. Animation is the rapid display of a sequence of images of 2D and 3D artwork or a model positions in order to create an The animation and video digital movie tools, that effect is an optical illusion of a motion due to the phenomenon uh, of a vision, and can be created and demonstrated in several ways. The most common method of presenting animation is as a motion picture or video program. Generally, we see Cartoon Network, all those are the animated movies. And some film movies also came in animated. The editing software program usually has clips of audio and video arranged in tracks. The developer is free to cut and paste clippings and rearrange sequences to suit his or storytelling. Besides, the software usually has a large library of built-in transitions, filters, and motions for clips for effective multimedia productions. Some of the examples we need to know about Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, Final Cut Pro. This is Final Cut Pro is using in the Apple and Macintosh only, and Adobe After Effects it is working with MS Microsoft also. That is a powerful video editing tool that enables user to add and change existing movies. And Adobe Premiere is an initiative, simple video editing tool for non-linear editing, putting video clips into any order. There is a number of applications we have in the website. There is after using, in generally, using of mobiles is the percentage is very much increased. So everyone is now using mobiles. So based on these conditions, this context, many developers, they are developing applications. So especially we don't need to buy a Final Cut Pro software. Just there is a online applications available on the website. Even applications, just once we install the application, we can, whatever anything can be done by the in the mobile only. It is possible nowadays because of the technology advancement. Multimedia in entertainment. Generally, in the electronic games, earlier 1990s and 2000, video games are very popular. Even though in 2000 there is a 2G mobiles, there is a one video game, means we can play cricket with with the dots. We can play some small games in the mobile. There are they are used in fields which range from medicine to academics, and from virtual gaming to nuclear physics. Another important technology is interactivity. Generally, we call it is virtual reality technology, VR technology. There is again one more technology type, augmented reality, AR also available. So in the recent years, the application of multimedia have become diverse. They are used in fields which range from medicine to academics, and even in the animated films, in the media, in the advertising agents, advertisements, and most importantly in the gaming sector. Electronic games are one of the major application of multimedia, and they are very popular today. Availability of enhanced delivery system and storage mechanism like DVDs and USB storage devices as it added to its popularity. Now, in the mobile phones only, earlier, some 10 years ago, just we have in storage, just 16 GB, 8 GB, 1 GB, 2 GB storage mobile phones only there some 10 years ago. Now, 1 trillion GB mobile phones storage, inbuilt storage, 1 trillion GB is also available. Those kind of mobiles also now available in the market. There has been a tremendous change in the audio system also over the years with the growth of new digital audio technologies like the Dolby sound system, digital theater DTS system, and some more sound VFX systems. All these sound related technology also available in the. It is all these are based on the multimedia. How multimedia is used in the education. Education also we need to know about multimedia system. So some of the important applications we are using in the education system means databases, education, training, and e-learning. E-learning is, we know already, now this is an online class. This is also part of the multimedia application. Because here I am sharing the PPT with you. I am speaking, my vision, my audio and my video is appearing on the monitor. So this is one example for the multimedia technology. Here we are using these online classes with the multimedia advantages. Next, multimedia in a production system. A multimedia production requires a team of professionals who look after the various stages of production, like project director, graphic designer, production artist, producer, project manager, writer, sound engineer, sound designer, videographer, animator, and programmer. These many people, these many crew members are involved in the multimedia production. The same is applies with the video production also, means television serial production or television news production. But that is also one kind of a broadcasting system. Multimedia is also broadcasting system. There is a steps involved in the production of a multimedia video. First one is a concept design. Next, content and information, navigation, aesthetic design, planning, production. All these are steps involved in the preparation of multimedia production. Concept design. What is concept design? Discussions with the client and among the team define what the product must deliver in terms of information and function to meet the desired goals. See, for example, as I'm an advertisement, I'm an advertiser. So I have a company. I have to give advertisement of my product. So I used to choose multimedia. So I have some goals to reach this multimedia content. So for these, first step is design the concept. Activities including interviewing the client, developing a planning document, building specifications for production. Here again, content and information. Content could include artwork, sound, text, video, or statistical databases, tables, or any information. We call it as content. Next one is navigation. You should be able to answer these questions. How will the user get around inside your program? How will your user exit? These are not a questions for you. Don't misunderstood. These are the navigation. Means if a user is using the multimedia, there is some dialogues, some content. So in that content, they can choose which side they have, which one they need to click. What is the organization flow of your program? One can design a flow chart to provide an overview of the navigation. Next, aesthetic design. Basically, if your program does not look good, chances are no one will care to explore the content. We are constantly bombarded with the information, and it is sometimes impossible for us to sort through all of it. What does get through is probably presented in a very clear, pleasing, and attractive manner. Next one is planning. Planning is teamwork. Nothing. Planning means teamwork. The team works together to define exactly how the project will look and feel, and also how the functionality will deliver the desired message. Activities including creating and finalizing flowchart, finalizing the functional specifications, timeline, storyboard, and creating a list of needed content, work assignments, all this is part in the planning. Now coming to production. Before the production, we need to do some testing, product testing. So client reviews project for minor changes, trials on other computers are conducted, and final revision based on client and team feedback and the results of testing. Final revision include bug fixing, which can include software glitches, sound glitches, typographical errors, visual errors, or a problem with functionality of a particular part of the interface. Next one is distribution. Packaging the product in its final form for distribution means mastering, duplicating, packaging, and shipping media. Publishing on websites or public presentations, or you may use your own media houses to give this multimedia content in the media house. Some activities included in the production, those are creating the rough layout and interface design, acquiring or creating music, other sounds, photography, videography, motion graphics, text, images, and assembling the elements into a prototype. So for these all activities, internal team who reviews and who criticize, who critically analyze the content. Because if we find the gaps or any errors, we will correct it. Making after all these stages, the final one is making the final changes. Then prepare a multimedia content, means that is a production. In general, we call it as a production. So writing for multimedia is quietly different than other kinds of media in the journalism. For example, newspaper, that is a print media only. We write it and reader read it. For audio, we write, means we produce a audio clip. Means for that, again, the background is required writing for radio. And the same it is applies to the television, writing for the television, writing for the websites, writing for the multimedia. Multimedia, you know, characteristics of multimedia. It's a combination of text, audio, video, graphics. So we must keep it in all these elements. Multimedia writing is a collaborative effort in which writers have to work in tandem with graphic artists, video clip makers, animation producers, and others to produce a work which does not have a linear path. As we discussed in the previous section, multimedia writing is based on the principles of hypertext. Tips for writing in multimedia projects. So you should choose your text and background colors very carefully. Next one is don't use backgrounds that obscure your text or use colors that are hard to read. Another one, dark colored text on a light colored background is easier to read than light colored text on a dark colored background. Another tip is all graphic images and elements, typefaces, headings, and footers should remain consistent throughout your project. Scripting language metaphor, slideshow metaphor, hierarchical metaphor. Metaphor means a number of specialized applications used in during the process of authoring are known as metaphors. There is a frames metaphor, card metaphor, macro media flash, macro media director. All these are some important points. Remember, you need to read and remember it. Here is some image formats. We need to know about the image formats and movie formats. Coming to the image formats, a single still video image, whether created by a drawing or a paint program or a scan from a book or grabbed with a video camera, can be stored in any of a wide variety of file formats. GIF, that is this is a one kind of a image format. The abbreviation for GIF is graphics interchange format. Another one is JPEG. This is a general. See, if we click on the mobile phones, it will be automatically in the JPEG format. JPEG stands as a Joint Photographic Experts Group. There is some more formats like .ps means PostScript. EPS, encapsulated PostScript, and EPSI, encapsulated PostScript with a preview image. Another one is TIFF. Generally, in the newspapers they used for printing TIFF image format. This abbreviation is tagged image file format. Another image image format is BMP. BMP means bitmap files. Here we need to know about the movie files also. Generally, .avi means audio video interleave. Next, .flc file format list, and .mov, .noov, .qt. All these are QuickTime formats. Moving pictures export group. Generally, we call it as MPEG or MPEG. Generally, in the while we are shooting with camera with our mobiles, it will be loaded in the MPEG format only. Okay, dear students. So far, we have discussed about the multimedia and various multimedia file format, image formats, movie formats, and some tips for writing multimedia. So I am here concluding this session. This is the last session for this season. We'll call you again. We'll meet again in the next session, means that is in the 5th semester. Thank you very much for watching and listening this online counseling class.